I'm Levison Daka, and I'm married to one wife. Her name, she's Fides Nyon Daka, and together the Lord has blessed us with two beautiful girls. The first one, she's Matamango, and the second one, she's Taonga. And by the way, we've been married for 9 years now. At least now, if counseling, I can even help to counsel people. So, moving forward, I want us to talk about the church plant called Calvary Baptist Church. The elders of Hillview Baptist Church, they thought of having a church plant, and even as we are praying and seeking which direction, I was given an assignment to go and do a survey of one of the nearest compound in Jack compound, and I was able to come with some information relating to Jack compound, and this is what I would want to read concerning Jack compound. So the elders of Youth Baptist Church gave, as they began to prepare for a new work in Jack compound, to provide some background, I want to share with you a little bit information about Jack compound. So Jack compound is located in the southwest of Lusaka City, closely linked to Chawama compound. And then Jack compound has got a population of people like over 15,000, and most of them their livelihood is merely business. The people that you see maybe in Kamwala, you see in town doing their business, most of them they come from Jack compound, and most of the things that they do when you go to Jack compound barely is business. There are few people that are civil servants, but most of them their livelihood is business. And then what struck me about Jack compound is the fact that it is characterized with a lot of activities. One of them that I was able to pick was Jack compound, in as much is a small compound, but it is characterized by bars, taverns, nightclubs, and guest houses. Unfortunately, these establishments have negatively impacted the community, leading to high rates of prostitution, and drug abuse, early marriages, and because of that, it has even led to a lot of street kids. No wonder you find that you have got a lot of junks in the compound. It is as a result of this. But the other thing that I was also able to learn is, despite they have got all these things that are found in a compound, there are also other churches. And one of the churches that I was able to pick was Pentecostals. And I was asking myself, why do Pentecostals thrive in that compound? Because a lot of people, they are living a low life, and they want to develop, and because of that, the Pentecostals are using the poverty of the people to raise, giving them hope to say, if you're going to give, or if you're going to do this, God is going to remove you out of your situation of poverty. And because of that, people they are eager to spend their time in those churches. And after discovering, after giving, or whatever they are doing, their lives do not improve. And the other churches that I was able to witness is a church called the SDAs. So I discovered that Jack compound, a lot of people who are Tongas, they find themselves in Jack compound. And because of that, find that SDAs, they're able to pull through. Why? Because most of them that are found in that area, they are Tongas. And most of the Tongas find that they are teachers in that area. And because of that, you see that SDAs has got a stance in that place. And then the other churches that I was able to also note was the UCZ Why are usage churches are thriving? In the compound, most of the people that you find, they enjoy choirs, they enjoy these activities. And you come to see that most of them, when you go in the compound, you ask them which church you go to, you discover that they come from UCZ. But after sitting down and seeing all these churches that are found in Jack compound, the elders, they thought of why can't we have a biblical church that will be able to help people understand the meaning of salvation. And because of the devices that I was able to allude in my preamble to say there's a lot of prostitution, a lot of people, they don't know Christ. There was an urgent need for us to establish a biblical church that to help people to understand the true meaning of salvation. And after doing prayers and research, the elders sat down to say, why can't we start the works in the compound? And God willing, on the 28th of July, we launched the church. But before the church was launched, there were a lot of activities that were being conducted by Hills Baptist Church. We did some crusades, we did some door-to-door evangelism. All that were pointing us to establishing a church in that area. And by God's grace, on the 28th of July, we were able to launch Calvary Reformed Baptist Church. And then we are so privileged that even on that day, we, in collaboration with our friends from America, we are able to launch the church there in Jack compound. I want us to go to the another picture. So you see the beautiful picture that after Calvary was launched, it was fully packed. Even when I was seeing this, I was saying, okay, I think I'm in the right place. Because I was encouraged by the numbers of the people that came to attend the establishment of the new church plant. But after the launch, the true picture of Calvary Baptist Church was being shown. And we see that after it was established, I want us to show the first. So after Calvary was established, these were the first people that came to attend our church services. At least for the very after the launch, I was encouraged by the numbers. But as time went by, the numbers began to decrease. And I always remember what Pastor told me, that don't rely so much. You need to work hard, because these people one day they'll disappear and you'll be alone in the compound. And this is what we see. Before this, there is a picture that I posted. Before this one? Okay. So as you see on your other side, we are few. And then we see that in 2024, the numbers that we are able to have as Calvary attendees, it was in the range of 7 to 14. 7 to 14. And I remember vividly when there was one faithful day when I came to church. I discovered that it was I myself and my children, and of course there was another lady that came. Because I was also human, I was discouraged. Instead of me remaining at the station, I took my family and went in the compound to evangelize. I thought maybe I was going to do myself good, but I discovered that I was supposed to remain in that station. But because I was moved, I felt that pain. I felt the impact of having a church where you are the only one who are there. But that was part of life. As time went on, the Lord began to bless us. From 7 to 14, the number began to increase. Gradually. And one of the things that I would also want to highlight is about the highlights of during the ministry there in Jack compound. I would want to talk about, before the current meeting, I want to talk about the highlights of 2024. One of the things that we're able, by God's grace, that we're able to achieve was first time we were able to launch our Bible club in Jack compound. This was a plus. I remember I was delegating to launch the Bible club, and I was told, why are you delaying? Why can't you just get your speaker and go in the Jack compound and people begin to follow you? I did not understand, but through prayer and believing the Lord, I just went and found myself establishing a Bible club. As if that was not enough, the Lord also graciously helped us that we're able to have our very ever first women's meeting in the very year 2024. And with that, I was being motivated, saying, okay, the Lord is really at work. And then after that, can you take another slide? The Lord again helped us that we're able to have our very first fellowship meal as Calvary Baptist Church. Let me be honest with you. I thought I was dreaming, seeing these activities happening at Calvary. But someone told me, no, Pastor, you're dreaming. This is the reality. By the way, whatever you see right here, it was being done by the local people in the Jack compound. It was being done, and that was the motivation. I remember when I was sleeping, I slept smiling. I was the happiest person because I never realized that, no, this thing would ever happen to our church. But this is not our work, but it is God's work at hand. So this is what we're able to see. Can you also slide to another part? Now, what led to all these things? There were some works that were being done underground. If you see on the other hand, we have introduced a program where we talk to people that maybe for lack of better term, the junks in the Jack compound. This place, it's a center place where they brew in our local language, cachaso. And I was bold enough to go to that area and talk to these young people. By God's grace, these guys were receptive. Some of them, I think 7 of them, they have joined. They are one of the attendees at our church. When you see, when you're able to see how they are looking at first, they were piercing, they are looking that like a junk. But today you come to Calvary Baptist Church, their perception or the way they look, they are different, meaning that God is really doing his work in their heart. Our prayer is the Lord will just save them to his own glory. And then the other part that you are able to see, we had an initiative whereby I used to go every Thursday in the afternoon to talk to the footballers. When you go to Kamlanda High School, opposite there's a ground. And I thought of taking advantage. I used to talk to the players every Thursday, 15 hours. And this is one of the evangelistic projects that we are doing in Jack compound. Okay. And then the other thing that we're able to see before I go to the big group, this was also one of an evangelistic project that we undertook as Calvary. You see, these are young people in the compound. We did a movie show called The Giant, and these are the young people that came to watch this movie. And we took time to preach the gospel to them. And it is our sincere prayer that even wherever they are, the Lord will continue to speak to their hearts. So when you go to the Jack compound, it's not that we just sit there. These are the things that we do during the week. You don't just sit home and just wait that no people come on their own. But this is what we do during the week, making sure that people are aware about the gospel. And then the other side, most of them, they are Hillview members. This is an objective that we are doing every month. We go out in the compound to sensitize, to make people aware about the existence of Calvary Baptist Church and also spreading the gospel to them. My pastor always tells me that you can't just sit home and expect people to come on their own. You need to go out and evangelize to them. And this is exactly what we have been doing in the compound. You can explain. Now, I would also want to talk about the challenges. I remember I mentioned to say, by God's grace, we're able to launch our Bible club. But one of the challenges that we have as at now, at our Bible club, we don't have a place of our own. Most of the children that you see we went and followed them in their nearest localities. Because between where our Bible club is and where our church is, there's a distance, and there are a lot of cars that passes through, so to avoid these guys being affected. So we went close in their neighborhood. But the challenge that we're having is we don't have a place. We were given a church where we would have our Bible club with them. But suddenly, the owners of the church, they told us that on that very day and time, they also have their engagement. So because of that, we are meant to meet from outside. And when we started our Bible club, this is the first day we started our Bible club. But with time, the numbers have increased. Now we are above 70. Now imagine the number 70. Meeting outside in such an environment, it is not conducive for these young people. And you find that just along the road, it is a dusty road. So when the cars are passing, our children are being exposed to the dust. And moreover, we don't have chairs where these children can sit. So this is one of the challenges that we're having as a Bible club. And my prayer is, even as I'm presenting this to you, may the Lord begin to speak to you, that you begin to look at what are the best ways we can help to make these guys or these children better, so that they can learn in a better environment. Because what we believe is these are the future Calvary Baptist Church members. And that's the reason why we have taken up this initiative. If you come today, you see even how they're responding. There's a lot of difference. Some of them, they even follow us to our church. So this is one of the challenges that we have as at now. We don't have a place of our own. So we are meant. So when you go there, they are just blocks. That's where the children are sitting, and others are sitting on the ground. So this challenge that we have, and we don't even have enough chairs. You can slide. Okay. Now, in my conclusion, I would want to talk about the future plans, even as Calvary Reformed Baptist Church. One of the future plans that we hope by God's grace, it is to secure a land that we are able to build our church from there. As you are aware, we fellowship from a school, and the school is meant for learners, not for churches. And because of that, it's very difficult for us to do effectively our programs. And we are hoping and praying by God's grace that we are able to have our own land, that we can be able to have our normal meetings without the inconveniences. Because one of the things that we are taught at a school, whenever I've got an outbreak of cholera or whatever disease will be affected, we won't be able to meet normally. So our prayer and our humble plea is that the Lord should be gracious to us, that we may acquire a piece of land, and also we can build our sanctuary from that place. Meaning that if you do that, even the Bible club, even the other kids, the Bible study, they will not be affected. And even the numbers, I'm sure a lot of people are failing to come to our church because they feel they can't sit in a classroom. And once we have a place of our own, I know and I believe that the numbers are going to increase. And the other thing that we are also wishing and praying about is we should have membership as a church. As at now, we don't have membership. Like the way I mentioned, to say I almost do everything, because our principle is no one can stand in front unless he's a member. So our future plans is, God willing, these same attendees, they should be fully our members. And then after established membership, hopefully that we're going to have our first ever elders and the deacons at Calvary Baptist Church. I know that by that time I'll be able to focus on preaching of the word. These other activities, the elders and the deacons and the members, they'll be able to take up the task. You can pray with us. Number one, like the way I said, our church is located in a compound. In a compound, we are dealing with people that are not saved. Most of them are strange with salvation and grace. So our prayer is, please pray with us that the Lord should be graciously speak to the hearts of our attendees, that they'll be able to know salvation. And I'm also I also take up this opportunity to mention, to say, through your prayers, we have got one of our sister who professed faith through the preaching of the word. And my prayer is, at the end, may the Lord speak to men, that many of them would know salvation. And then the other thing that I want us to pray for is consistency in our attendees attending to the means of grace. Most of them are not consistent. They'll come today, others will not come, but we pray that the Lord should just continue to speak to their hearts, that they'll be consistent even attending to the means of grace. And then pray with our family, that the Lord should give us good health, that will continue to labor to make sure that the church is established.